80-degree day, and basketball very much in the air. For the introduction of the lineups, we join Mike Stone on the public address.
And now, from Portland, Oregon, site of the 1992 NBA Draft and the Olympic qualifying basketball tournament, the Tournament of the Americas, here are the starting lineups for Game 3 of the NBA Finals. First, for the visiting Chicago Bulls. Starting at one forward, out of Central Arkansas, 6'7", number 33, Scottie Pippen. At forward, from Clemson, 6'10", number 54, Horace Grant. At center, 7'1", from San Francisco, number 24, Bill Cartwright. Out of Notre Dame, at guard, 6'2", number 5, John Paxson. And at guard from North Carolina, 6'6", number 23, Michael Jordan. The head coach of the Chicago Bulls, Phil Jackson. And now, your Portland Trail Blazers. Starting at one forward from Longwood College, Virginia, 6'7", number 25, Jerome Kersey. And the other forward from Maryland, 6'8", number 52, Bob Williams. At center from Eastern Illinois, 7'00", the Duck, Kevin Duckworth. At one guard from Wisconsin, Stevens Point, 6'3", leader of the pack, number 30, Terry Porter. And at guard from Houston, 6'7", number 22, Clyde Drexler. The head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, Rick Adelman.
And now to a man who is enjoying a homecoming in this area as a one-time star running back at the University of Oregon Ducks. Let's go to Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad?
Marv, that is the University of Oregon Fighting Ducks. Now, once again, I visited both locker rooms. In the Portland locker room, a very loose atmosphere. Clyde Drexler told me we accomplished what we wanted to in Chicago by getting one game, and we have no plans on going back to Chicago. On the other side, in the Chicago locker room, a lot of concern. These players were very, very much concerned over the loss that they had in Game 2. Coach Phil Jackson told me that in the last 2 years, that was probably the toughest loss that they have ever had, and hopefully they can bounce back from that and play well again today. One other note, Marv, is a lot of people had some concern over Scottie Pippen's wrist by the way he was shooting in Game 2. I talked to him just before the game. He said the wrist is fine and he's ready to go. Marv?
All right, the Fighting Duck, former star, Ahmad Rashad. Now, Mike, I do want to make the point that they are not using the scoreboard that has been lowered as a screen for jump shots. They will not play the game in this manner. Obviously, there is a malfunction which is being taken care of. Apparently, the horn in the 24-second clock, which is operated from the scoreboard, not working correctly, so they're working on fixing it, and hopefully it will be only a short delay, and apparently they have solved the problem. Big hand for Clyde Drexler a moment ago, who bounced back with a strong game in Game 2, although he sat out the last 9:36 after going down on fouls, and several players and members of the media made the point that the Blazers were actually very effective without Drexler on the floor. They got better ball movement out of it, and we talked about that with Coach Rick Adelman.
Well, I'm really happy because they still believe they could win, but I want Clyde on the floor. I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, we're a better team without Clyde. I told him, the team after the game, we finally got rid of him when we started to roll, but that was joking. I think it says a lot about our team. It says a lot about the other guys that they stepped up and they took over. One thing that really helped us, I don't know if you can put as much emphasis on, is when Clyde was hurt the latter part of the year, Danny played a lot. And we really got used to playing with him and doing things with Terry and Danny that we don't do with Clyde. They're two different players. So we were able to adjust pretty good with Danny and Terry in the lineup.
It happens a number of times during the course of a season where a key player goes out and you're forced to use other people, and they learn to play better with one another. A similar question that Chris Ford had to answer up in Boston regarding Larry Bird. Are you better with Larry or without? You want your heavy artillery in there. There's no way they win the games they've won over the past few seasons without Clyde Drexler. It was just happenstance. The players stepped up and produced in Clyde's absence.
And Clyde Drexler, 26 points, 8 for 20 from the field, 10 for 10 from the line, and came out in very aggressive fashion. So we're set for game 3. Game 1, it was Michael Jordan with the record for a finals ball game, 35 points in the first half, 39 in all, and he did it from three-point land as Chicago won convincingly. And then game number 2 in Chicago, the Bulls with that 10-point lead in the final minutes, not able to hang on, and despite the fact that Drexler went out on fouls, Danny Ainge with 17 points, 9 of the 17 in overtime to help lead the Portland Trail Blazers to the victory. Well, the scoreboard has been raised to its proper place, and we are set to go. The officials, Bill Oakes, Ed G. Rush, and Mike Mathis. And the call, Chicago ball, last touched by Portland.
Big concern by many people, the Bulls' ability to bounce back after the devastating loss in game number 2. Did they have enough time to get themselves straightened out in their heads and immediately go down inside low to Grant, which is one of the things that they like to do, Chicago, establish the inside game with either Cartwright or Grant early.
And we have a feeling in visiting with Phil Jackson and some of the Bulls yesterday that this was a down ball club. Phil mentioned emotionally down, although he tried to remain upbeat. Kersey switching off to Jordan here at the start. Here's Pippen. Scottie Pippen, who told him out earlier that the wrist is okay, was backing up on the outside shots the other day, but he went for the outside shot at the start. And the foul called on Chicago to put Kersey on the line. It's called on Pippen.
If you think back to game 2 when Jerome Kersey had been struggling, the play that got him off early was a transition dunk by Kersey, filling the right lane once again. Here, almost an exact similar play. This time, he goes to the free throw line for 2 opportunities.
Jerome Kersey, player who has battled through injuries to both ankles, did not have a good one last Wednesday in game 1. Came back in game 2 for 12 points and 8 rebounds. Bulls 2 and the Blazers 1. Jordan and Paxson in the backcourt. Cartwright up front with Grant and Pippen. Grant with the open shot. And Kersey with the rebound. Terry Porter had an excellent game in Chicago on Friday. Here's Duckworth, who hit that clutch shot down the stretch in regulation. Buck Williams, and it's rebounded by Grant. Cartwright going to work. So Bill Cartwright with his first field goal, and as we have mentioned throughout this series, the Bulls love to get Cartwright involved early. Duckworth getting the position. The steal by Kersey. Kersey will go back to the line. Foul committed by Horace Grant.
Grant picked up 2 quick fouls in game number 2 and eventually had to go to the bench much earlier than Phil Jackson and his staff would have liked. And if Jerome Kersey continues to get in the transition game, whether he produces it himself or for steals or as a result of running out after defensive rebounding, this is a big plus for him. We saw him open the game up with a jumper. It was an air ball. That's not his strength. His strength is he's a driving, slashing, offensive rebounding type of player.
Kersey only a 66% free throw